Hello, everyone, and welcome to the KeenGamer podcast. I'm your host, Mark O'Callahan, and we have a fun episode for you guys today. Please welcome back Owen. Owen, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I did my first face mask today. It was a good experience,
Oh,
not just for girls. I recommend it. It was actually a lot of fun and relaxing. So yeah, I'm in a good mood.
you see, I'm doing half a face mask with just a beard.
Right? Yeah,
Ginger
yeah.
beard.
Some would just call that a beard and not a face
Oh,
mask, but that's me. I don't know.
I thought it was just like an international thing, but
Yeah, I
who
just mean
would have
picking.
thunk?
Yeah, never mind.
And also welcome back Noah Rosenthal. Noah, fly Eagles fly? Question
In,
mark?
indeed, I'm looking forward to Mailata giving Aiden Hutchinson a nice welcome to the NFL.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I love Hayden Hutchinson. He just seems like a nice guy.
Well, he's about to be taught a lesson.
Big time. And then finally, someone who is going to give me the scoring I deserve for loving The Last of Us Part 1, Daniel Boyd. Daniel, how you doing?
How you going, you big sellout? You all right?
With my money bags, Jane, I'm all good.
I clearly did okay. If you can afford to throw 70 quid away on a game that's 12 years old,
Yeah,
then good on you, mate.
the Naughty Dog just like paid me a bunch of money to say nice things about them, and I'm in this mansion. It's so cool.
Do you know
No,
what?
I'm not.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
And you know what? Your background does look quite Mashit-like, so I almost believed you for a second. I was like, you've got those big stone pillars going. I'm like, yeah, he's got that Naughty Dog money.
It's very nice. It's a very nice place.
I am watching my parents' house, and it's like my angle in my apartment. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like, you could just see like trash. Just trash. Like it's messy.
Is your dad Neil Druckmann?
Oh,
I cannot confirm or deny.
I like Neil.
Callahan isn't even a real last name. Too Irish.
Turns out in Neil Druckmann and Amy and Hennig are your parents, and when they split up, you just get caught between the two. That's the backstory.
Oh,
and now you can't play this awesome looking Marvel game that's just been announced with Amy Hennig, but we'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there. Good transition because
your dad comes in and he's like, "What are you playing?" Nothing, Dad. It's like that "Are you winning, son?" meme, but a lot darker.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. Just make things a little darker and stranger. I don't have any like levity to that statement. That's just period. That's it.
I can sum up my time in KeenGamer. Yeah. So.
But we will be having a great episode as we will recap not only D23 but Ubisoft Forward, which we definitely have a lot of things to say. But before then, let's talk about the games we're playing. And I already said The Last of Us Part 1. By the time this episode will come out, I have my review up. I just had to edit some stuff, plus just editing other things. I'm sorry, Dan. I said last week on the podcast, I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. And then I played it more, and I'm like, son of a gun. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I have to please my dad.
It depends. I guess it depends how you're scoring it, because if you're scoring it based on the merits of what's in the game, then sure, because the original's a 10. So if all it is an up-res version of a 10 out of 10 game, then fair enough. But if you're ranking it on the basis of what you think it's worth in 2022, that's when I wouldn't say it's a 10. You know, if you're just ranking the performances in the game and the presentation of the game and the gameplay, then yes, 100% it's a 10. But if you're looking at it and going, there's all these caveats and that wasn't necessary, no, of course it wasn't. You know, if you sort of factor that in, I think that's where it drops points. So I guess it depends on your justification. I'm not going to argue with you giving it 10 because, you know, it's The Last of Us. It's a 10. But
have you played it then?
Have I played the new one?
Yeah, the new part 1.
No, I've not played the remake. I've played the original. I've played the remaster. I've yet to. I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I would not give Naughty Dog 70 quid for that.
Yeah,
for that game. I'm sorry.
I
will pick it up in the future when it drops to 30. But at the minute, no, I'm absolutely not paying. I wouldn't pay more than 40 for that game.
I feel the same way as you. Yeah.
I always feel guilty because my dad. No, the one of I think it was like the game director from Days Gone, who's been wanting a sequel. Sony won't them have a sequel, and it found new popularity with not only like going on PlayStation Now. It's if it's a huge game, popular game, it'll be like $20 off. So Sony's like, you know what, just make it like half off, so a lot more people bought it. And the message he sent was like, maybe you should have bought it full price, so
full
we would have
price,
had a
yeah.
sequel. And I'm like, oh. But yet again, is Naughty Dog hurting for anything? No, they're PlayStation's baby.
Mm.
But yet again, it's like, would I like this remake to be less in terms of price? Yes. But yet again, I would love all games to be less.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, there's no ideal world there, obviously. Yeah, 100%.
Call me cheap? Yeah, I am. But it's like, yeah, I want that game to be $10. It's like, why? Is it a 10-hour game? I'm like, no, it's a $70 game. I just want to pay $10 for it. That's... But everything about like The Last of Us, like it definitely feels like a from the ground up remake. And I feel like the marketing didn't do as good of a job. And it is super hard to sell this game. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about it with the Ubisoft of how there isn't Assassin's Creed 1 remake, but which was heavily rumored. If that was remade or remaked, that is a 2007 game that has not been remastered or anything. And it's like, oh wow, what is Ubisoft going to do? We already had a remaster, and the first Assassin's Creed game has a couple of problems to them. The Last of Us is considered a masterpiece, and then the remastered is also considered a masterpiece. So how do you improve on something that is like basically perfection?
Well, the one flaw that I've always had with The Last of Us is the companion AI. So, like, when you and Ellie are sneaking around and sometimes she'll sneak in front of an enemy and the enemy just doesn't see her. I heard when they announced this remake, I can't remember who it was, Neil Druckmann or somebody for Naughty Dog was talking and saying, we fixed that. Now that there's better AI sort of for the non-playable characters, there will be like a path, a sight path and stuff, so that she'll never cross that sight path of the enemy. So therefore, it should never happen. And then I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube of the same thing happening in the remake. So really, they were talking about that.
I've heard about that. Personally, I've not encountered it. I really thought I was going to be close. Like, there's one, there's a lot of self in the game, and it's like you're navigating through like this garden, and there's all these clickers, which are very dangerous. Like, unless you have like a special weapon, they'll just instantly kill you. And maybe it was more of like, was it my companion's fault? No, they were not at fault. I just suck at stealth.
Yeah, but that's the thing with like Last of Us though. The companion would always get like obviously in the way, like so much so that they should really alert the enemy, but the enemy just ignores them, right? Like, yeah, that was always the thing. But like, I have sympathy for game developers in that point of thing, because like, hey, what can you do? Like, it's no one's perfect. AI is tough. They can't make it like flawless. So I look past it.
Again, I feel like 10 out of 10 is a masterpiece. 10 out of 10 because nothing is perfect.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The only other gripe I've got about this new game was so you can also change the clothes that Joe and Ellie wear. You can play as, I think you can play as Joel from The Last of Us 2 and stuff, but you need to beat the game. You need to beat the game once in the current outfits and the original outfits before you can unlock that. And it's like, this is the third time this game's been released. The vast majority of people playing this have played it before. Why not just let us do that for the start? Like, it's cosmetic changes. It's not a big deal. So realistically, who's going to play through this entire game again for the third, fourth, fifth time and then go, oh, but I want to see it again with the the Last of Us 2 skins? So it's like, no one's going to. So just make it accessible at launch. Or worst case, what they should have done is, if you've got the remastered save file in your PS5, if it recognizes that, then bang, you've got it unlocked. Like, just something like that would have been better. But
or it's like not even in the deluxe edition, because I'm trying to like you get like some like perks and the speed mode is unlocked and like the super hard and like grounded, but not even like the skins, which I know is like pain, like instant gratification instead of like playing it through the first time. But it's like that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But yet
you still love it.
again, oh yeah.
I just think there's remakes out there that I've not played that I'm way more eager to play because they feel like they've changed a lot more. Like that Nier, see the original Nier game, there's Nier Automata, and then last year they brought out Nier version 1.2 point something, and it was essentially a remake of the original. And when you look at those games side by side, they look like completely different games. It's like Resident Evil 2 compared to the original. It's that much a difference. And there's titles out there like that I've not played that I'm like, why would I drop 70 quid on something that is pound for pound the same thing with a few cosmetic changes when there's things out there like that? And even like, I guess like the Crash trilogy, if you've not played that is a proper remake that was needed. And I keep asking myself, why didn't they make the first Uncharted game? Like, if any Naughty Dog game needs a remake, it's that first Uncharted game. Why didn't they do that?
It's just the age-old argument of they've already remastered it. It comes down to they've already remastered it. Why are you remastering it a second time, like very quickly after the first one came out? Like, I don't know, when did the first? I have no idea when the first remaster came out, but
2013, 2012, 2013.
The first
10 years ago.
Like the remastered was 2014, maybe 2015 if I'm stretching it, but I think 14.
Okay, right. So it's been a bit of time, but again, like it's been remastered. We've already played it, like remastered. We've already seen it all pretty. You can't do it again. Like it's not Skyrim. Like you're only gonna get away with that so many times. Like this. Yeah, I know.
And again, we understand why they did it. One,
of
money.
Course, yeah.
Two, HBO, that show coming out. But it's more of like, again, like I don't want to like. I feel like at the last 2 weeks before the game was released, they did a really good job like selling me and other people like, oh, this is definitely different. Like again, the Jeff E3 didn't do like a good job.
No, the original announcement wasn't great. And the fact that we all knew it was coming a year before it was officially announced, and it just fell flat.
It was already the trailer was leaked like right beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know it came out 2014, the remastered.
Okay, right.
This is somewhat of a side point, but I was rewatching the trailer for the HBO show last night, and I was just thinking to myself, it's going to be super interesting to rewatch certain poignant, pivotal scenes, like when Sarah dies and things like that, and then compare Troy Baker's performance to Pedro Pascal's. Because I was like, it was a scene where he was running, carrying who we think is Sarah in that trailer, and I was like, oh man, Pedro Pascal's a great actor. That scene when Sarah dies is going to be incredible, but really heart wrenching to watch. And then I was like, well, the original is really heart wrenching to watch. I wonder which will be more. What sad dad will be more sad. I think it'll be interesting to compare the two.
You don't spoil our upcoming podcast. Sad dad face off. Sad dad.
Sad dad pod 2.
Yes. Sad dad cast.
The remake.
Remastered. Part 1.
Part 1. Yeah.
Day 1 edition.
Not even the day 0.
Sad dad season pass.
Ooh. What about the sad dad like loot boxes?
Oh. It's just no pair of socks.
And it's like, is there like a funny design? It's like it's just plain white socks. It's like the Boombas, like the fancy socks. No, it's just like Hanes, off-brand Hanes. I just feel bad now because we just spoiled the whole podcast for Sad Dad.
Good teaser though. People getting bored, I think.
Fair enough. So that's it from the Last of Us Part 1. Check out my review on KeenGamer.com. Don't hate me too much. Actually, don't hate me at all. That's just mean. Anyway, so Dan, I feel like you did talk about this game because it just sounds like your type of game. Metal Hellsinger.
I spoke about Metal Hellsinger. The reason that sounds familiar, the demo came out, I don't know, June, July, when about E3, well, what should have been E3 time.
Yeah.
They dropped a demo for it, and I spoke about it then, but the full game is releasing this Friday, I believe. So, yes, I think the embargo should be up by the time this episode goes up, so I should be able to talk about it. Because I'm doing the review for it. And it is a Doom clone with the interesting gimmick of you can only really shoot and strike your sword in time with heavy metal music that's playing.
Cool.
So, you know, when the drums go doom, doom, as you fire on the doom, you're getting like double damage. It's that kind of thing. You can fire off the beat, but your guns are, you know, pretty useless. But if you can hit on the beat, especially if you can hit on consistent beats, you build combos, and then, you know, your weapons do more damage, and then waves of demons get more kind of increased, and it's fun. It's a cool idea. There's been like original music made for the game, and then there's also like kind of like classic metal songs in there as well and stuff. And yeah, it's really cool. It's a good idea. It doesn't feel, I don't know how to put it, even though it's clearly like a gimmick on a formula that we know, it doesn't get old, you know. It's not like after the first couple of levels you're like, right, okay, we get it. For some reason it's just still so satisfying to pull that trigger at the time of the music and watch the demons go down. So I'm enjoying it. I will sort of go into the intricacies of that in the review, but yeah, for the most part I'm enjoying it. It's quite interesting. The last game that I reviewed for the site happens to also be a Doom clone. That was called Scathe, and the review for that is live just now if you want to check it out on KeenGamer.com. And that was made by a small Scottish team actually, and that was really interesting too. I really liked that. But yeah, just different feel, different pace, different energy. But no, Metal Hellsingers, it's a lot of fun so far.
And I guess, like, what studio, who made that? Like, the kind of, I'd never heard of it, so I'm wondering the kind of bigger.
Metal Hellsingers made by a Swedish studio, I believe.
Okay.
And if you give me 2 wee seconds, I'll get the name of them. But it's slick. It looks great on PC. The audio's great because obviously the audio's a hugely important factor in a game like this. Yeah, I mean, all you really need to do when you set up, you sync your trigger in time with the audio. You do like a wee test at the start where it plays a wee blip. You sync your trigger, and then from there, you're good. And yeah, it looks great. Ray tracing's great. The reflections are great. The landscape of hell's interesting looking. I mean, it does look a lot like Doom. You know, it takes a lot of its design environmentally, especially from Doom. But too much of Doom's not a bad thing, is it? I mean, I want to see glories, hellish landscapes, shoot my way across them. Like, I don't care how many times I've done it. That's always fun. But yeah, no, it's great. It is developed by a team called The Outsiders, apparently.
Oh, cool name.
So 3 things. 1, out of context, too much Doom is a very bad thing.
Yeah.
2, is the music in this game like original? Like, it's not like they took like other.
Some of it is, and some of it isn't. They've got. I'm trying to remember the bands that they've got on board because they've got certain, like, I'm not a big metalhead, but they've got certain dudes for metal bands involved. Some kind of American based and some kind of like Swedish based and stuff, and they're all contributing. So some of them have written original pieces for this game, and some of them have just basically given them their old backlog and been like, you can use, you know, whatever song you want from these bands. I can't really remember them off the top of my head, to be honest. But there's quite a few. I think there's a few kind of decent sized names involved in it. I'm just trying to find it. But yeah, no, it's an interesting game. It's an original twist on a tired concept. You know, it's something that's been done before, but they're putting a new spin on it. So that's kind of interesting.
I'm glad at least some of the metal music is original, because it's kind of just like, well, if you just took the visuals and gameplay from Doom and you took metal music and you lay it over Doom, then it's not really like, what did they bring? Like, what's new about this game, right? It's kind of like, oh, you took 2 things and put them together. Great. Like, thanks.
I don't know. I think sometimes the key to that is just taking something that's been done before, something you know that it's kind of guaranteed people are going to like it, and just putting a new reason to experience it on top. I've just got the list of artists up here actually. So the guy from System of a Down, he's involved. Singer from Trivium, Dark Dark Tranquility, Soilwork, Arch Enemy, and Black Crown Initiate. I don't know any of those bands or the System of a Down, but those are the arts involved. But yeah, the music in the game's great. I mean, I keep thinking what would be really interesting if they were to do a sequel or if they would do some sort of DLC. What would it look like with a different genre of music over it? Because as much as the heavy metal music, it fits the environment, the hellish kind of landscape, it goes hand in hand with heavy metal music. Imagine like a hip hop R&B song, with a kind of sick trap beat to it, and you're shooting along to it, or even like I don't know, just a pop song or a rock song or any sort of music. Like, I think it'd be interesting to get different tracks in there and essentially see how that changes the kind of vibe of it. But as it stands, it's really cool. There's quite a good variety of the music. It's not as if every song sounds the same, so it kind of adds a different energy to each level and stuff. But yeah, it's I would recommend it. It's fun.
Let me ask you this, Dan. If there was a DLC for this game, it's like a music pack. Which band or singer, whatever, would you want in this game?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I got some good questions.
Maybe a bit of Kendrick. I think that would be interesting.
Wait, did you say Kendrick?
Yeah, a bit of Kendrick Lamar. I don't know. I think that would be
dope.
Because Kendrick's stuff, obviously, he's got this kind of modern. He's a modern lyricist, but a lot of his music, he kind of raps over like orchestral beats quite a lot of the time and stuff. So to hear that sort of, it would still bring that kind of grand nature to the landscape of hell, while having a kind of a young artist's voice over it. I think that'd be quite interesting. Yeah, someone like Kendrick would be interesting. But you could take anyone. You could take like Green Day or Eminem or I don't know, anyone, put them in.
That'd be fun.
And just see how how it changes the kind of pace of it. Because even though the metal songs, as I said, there's a bit of diversity, really it's heavy metal drum beats. It's a lot of double bass and a lot of this kind of similar drum beats. So really what you're shooting with is in type of the beat. So if the beats are all the same, you're not really changing the pace of each level, I guess. So if you were to have something vastly different, like something with a really stripped back slow beat or something that was really, really intense, like what was that Dragon Force band that used to like play like 100 mile an hour? Like something like that would just totally change the pace of the game. I don't know. But yeah, as it stands, it's really cool. But I would like to see them do something like kind of like the Guitar Hero or Rock Band and kind of drop album or band packs, as they go. Like imagine a Beatles song in this game; it'd be insane. So yeah, I don't know. There's loads of possibilities.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good potentials for DLC, like you're saying. Like, and even like if they they changed it so it wasn't in hell anymore and it was like in heaven and they had like pop music playing, like something like that. Like that could really cool.
Well, I mean, this game is called
Heaven Singer.
Hellsinger. This game is called Metal Hellsinger. So I do wonder maybe the sequel could be called R&B Hellsinger, or just a different genre, and kind of see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. The metal stuff works, so it's great. And there's, it's not the longest game in the world, but I actually think that's a good thing because, as I've said before, it's probably the kind of game where if it was any longer, you would maybe get a bit sick of it. So it's breezy. Also, I should have said Troy Baker narrates it, so you've got his voice guiding you through hell, which is really interesting because when I first played the demo, I actually thought that the player character was being voiced by Troy Baker, but then when you play the full game, it turns out that you're playing as a female character who has had like her family ripped away from her, and she's like fighting. She looks like a demon though, and she's fighting her way through hell for the sake of her family. And Troy Baker's just the one telling the story. He's like the narrator. He's the only voice that you hear. He's none of the characters are voiced. They're all these kind of demons that just grunt and make noises. But you can hear his kind of soft southern tones, kind of guiding you through the circles of hell. So that's a nice touch as well.
That is dope. I will say they will never do it because her back catalog is too expensive. Country Hellsinger, Dolly Parton.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Hell
as soon as you said her, I was like, "It's Dolly Parton." Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
Oh,
I get to shoot up demons playing Jolene.
Yeah. Oh man.
And
just working 95, shooting demons all day. Like, oh man, sign me up.
Suck it, Deadpool 2. This is better. No disrespect to Deadpool 2 and their team.
It was a good movie.
Very good movie. So, we as you said, Dan, it will be up on KeenGamer.com. Can't wait to look forward to read all that. So Noah, I'm surprised. This Tack and the Power of Juju won.
Indeed. Decided it was throwback time.
All right. So how do you like it? Does it get that nostalgic itching?
It sure does. I haven't finished yet, but yeah, it's a game I revisit. I'd say that maybe once or twice a year. Like, yeah, I decided on to do the first one. This just felt like the first one. So I've said it before. Tack is probably my favorite art style of any game ever. Like the way those characters are drawn, like the little animals. It has this perfect silliness to it, and also this uniformity. You'd know a Tack character anywhere. So yeah, I just love that about it. And the first one particularly is a major puzzle game. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of it's just trying to manipulate the world around you to help you. So yeah, and it can be rough if you don't know what you're doing. Like, excuse me, like when I was a kid trying to play it, like I rage quit a few times, like if I just didn't know what to do. But once you just kind of remember how to do every puzzle, it's just fun to do it again. Yeah, it's a lot of it's like moving animals around. Like certain animals will follow you if you're holding a melon, so you have to try and move it somewhere. Like moving an orangutan to a different tree so it can fling you somewhere else. Like I remember a puzzle I got stuck on and as a kid was there's this monkey that when you shoot it or throw something at it, it always like really nails whatever is closest to it with a coconut. If you're standing too close to it, it'll like throw a coconut right at you and knock you down. But if there's an animal close to it, it'll hit the animal, thinking that's what threw the melon. So I got stuck because like there was one of those monkeys in a tree, and there was a path to where I needed to go that was blocked off by this like bamboo structure. So yeah. So, and there was also this enclosure of that same bamboo stuff that I didn't know what was in it. So I couldn't figure out how to get through that gate where I needed to go. And as it turns out, like if you walk up to that enclosed bamboo structure and listen real close, you can just barely hear there's a rhino in there. So what you have to do is stand further back from the rhino, shoot the monkey, and the monkey will try to nail the rhino with a coconut and end up breaking that fence. And you can use the rhino to get through the bamboo wall to where you need to go.
I have a quick question, actually. What does a rhino sound like? Like how would you know it's a rhino?
It just has this little grunt, like,
okay, right.
And they all have these sounds, and the animations make it eventful. It's fun.
Okay, well, when people think of rhino, they don't think, that's the animal that makes it sound. They're like, no, it's a badass looking thing with a huge horn. Like they don't need noise. They just they run on things.
I think the horn is just like secondary to the voice.
Yeah.
I didn't know they made noise. Like they could have been. You could have told me they were mute, and I would have fully believed you. But okay, good to know.
Yeah, they in Tack, the rhinos just kind of look silly. Like really, you're not supposed to take much of it seriously. It's these goofy little designs, and like I said, it has this uniformity. Like you know something in a Tack game anywhere just watching. Like it's an old THQ title. Back before THQ became like, I think it's THQ, but yeah, something else. Nordic, THQ Nordic now. Yeah, so it was good old GameCube THQ. There's some major classics in there.
I looked it up. The art style actually is kind of cute. And now that you say it, I'm looking at it. I remember seeing ads for that when I was like a kid or something. Like I remember there was like something. Yeah, I actually considered getting it, but I don't think I ever did. But it looks looks fun. Looks cute. We all need a bit of that, childlike innocence.
Yeah, I'm surprised it like a lot of non-Americans that just haven't heard of it because it's a Nickelodeon that I believe they're the publisher. So
Right,
so
that could be where I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, Nickelodeon's very American central.
I mean, was it a show ever?
There was a show after the third game, and that's the point where it kind of just fell off the rails. Like really, the first 3 games are where it's at, but most like hardcore fans after the show were like, it just isn't the same anymore.
Yeah. Okay. the TAC fan base.
Yeah, the TAC fan base. Yeah, any TAC listeners out there, I got you. I know TAC.
Tack me,
Is
tack.
there-
Don't jump back.
Is there a good name for like the TAC, like the TACists or something? Like, do they have like a TAC community or the TACers? I don't know.
No, I guess if there was one, we should call ourselves like the Jujus.
But
Okay.
that would be going into some very dangerous territory.
It sounds, yeah, it's very dangerous.
yeah,
'cause,
it's like, what's your community? The Jujus? It's like, what?
yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's dangerous.
the Jujus are like, they're kind of like spirit like gods in the tag game.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a funny word. I like it.
Yeah, it is. He's
Hell of a
back.
name.
I'm back.
Daniel, did you get all that?
I came back to Juju's discussion and I was like, what have I missed here? Am I on
Daniel,
the
do
wrong
you think,
podcast?
so they're talking about like what the fanboy name should be. Juju. Is that a good name, or is that, I think it goes into some dangerous territory.
Sounds borderline problematic.
Yeah, it does. It does. You're just saying the name of a religion, and you're saying it twice, so it's kind of just like,
It sounds like what if a little kid was trying to make up slurs? Again, no. If this is all pitching, like this this is the process.
Yeah.
But awesome stuff. Finally, Owen, what game are you playing?
Ironic you say finally. Here, I put it in the. Can you read it out in the document? Just humor me for a second, if you can see it.
Okay, now I see it.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot to put it in, so I literally put it in there while I was learning about the Jujus.
Yet again, I am very offended. You know, I'm not good with Roman numerals.
That's why I asked. Yes, so I want you to take a guess. So it's Final Fantasy what?
No, it's not 1.
It's not 1. No.
It's not 2. 9.
9. Well done. Yeah. So it's I put in the Roman numerals instead of the number because I was like, yeah, that'll be funnier. So yeah, it's IX. So I'm actually playing a lot of games at the moment because I always juggle like 3 or 4. But yeah, Final Fantasy 9. I am doing I just play through it regularly. Again, I have my favorite game of all time. Like Noah with TAC, I would come back to Final Fantasy 9 frequently. I love that game to bits. I sneak it into every article I write somehow and leave comments about it's the best game of all time because it's amazing. And yeah, no, what's it called? Fantastic game. Really good story. I'm doing a 100% run now. Just doing all those like cool little Easter eggs and side quests that you didn't know, like, you know, that a lot of games have, or especially JRPGs, I guess, that you just didn't know were actually like things until like so there's side quests that some guy's looking for his cat early on in the game, and you're like, oh, that's interesting, and then you're like, oh, well, the guy's like, oh, did you know if you go to this exact spot and ring the doorbell 3 times, then his cat comes down? I'm like, what? No way, like, you know. And it's a game I've played so many different times, but learning all these like tiny little gimmicks and going through it piece by piece and like getting 100% run, that's very satisfying. So yep, that's what I'm up to. The game itself, I just like if you're a fan of turn-based combat, it's amazing. It looks very nice, even though it is a bit dated now, and they made a remaster, but the remaster was kind of lazy. They didn't do there's a Steam mod called the Maguri mod that my brother is actually playing now, and he's rubbing it in my face and how much better it looks, because like basically the community made the game again, but they made it better than the developers did when they remastered it. It just looks so much cleaner and smoother and everything. And yeah, he's playing through it and he's making fun of how bad mine looks and how good his looks, and he's absolutely right. But yeah, good looking game. overall. Combat's great, very satisfying, good story, deep themes about life, what it means to live, what it means to die, what happens after death, confronting your own mortality. It gets very grim. It's had like a cute chibi art style, but it deals with some very serious themes. But I think it does it really, really well. And yeah, no, if you haven't played it, put it in your list, and I'm going to keep writing about it. No one can stop me. I think I've got another article on the way. It's in that one as well. So yeah, just any questions for the class?
I love the turn from like praising the game to madness of no one can stop me. No one.
Like I gotta keep playing it. Like you can't like. There's none of discussion. Like people have tried to stop me. They can't do it. I have friends who are like, "Oh, you need to stop playing." No, why would I?
You ever
No.
had an intervention?
It's come close. It's come close. I think what stopped it, I didn't turn up. I think it was actually planned to be an intervention to stop me playing the game, but I actually avoided it. And I think not knowing it was an intervention, but yeah. So, on a technicality, no, I haven't had an intervention.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Owen, we're really concerned.
Okay,
about this.
all right. Thanks, guys. That's gonna be signing off. Has anyone else here played it?
I have
No.
not.
I haven't.
It's
I played 8.
8 was special. It was something.
This is
Yeah.
the only
I played the
only
most
ever Final
underrated
Fantasy game I've played.
Final
What's
Fantasy VII game.
Did you play the
Well, I
remake?
just gave it away.
Or-
OG and remake.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Remake was I don't know. I was kind of a lot of people were hoping for, just again, same thing, turn-based, exact same story, but made prettier. But then they kind of, they made some changes in that, and it's controversial changing something that is. I don't think they did a bad job of it. I actually made a review of it on YouTube, but overall, it's kind of like if you're messing with something that's cherished and you change it even slightly, you're just like you're asking for trouble.
But yet again, money.
Money, yes, I forgot. Yeah, never mind then.
I love it's like, yeah, we love games, but I do acknowledge like the industry's like
Yeah.
for worse or for worse.
Yeah.
Man, I loved your passionate like Final Fantasy 9 talk went into like, Owen, you have a problem and capitalism is bad. Yet
Yeah,
again, I feel like that's just a KeenGamer podcast in a nutshell.
Yeah, but I think if you have problems like that, I recommend Final Fantasy 9 because it really goes into a lot of deep and important themes about best way of living your life, coping with your own mortality. Because we're all gonna have to face it. We're all dying, and if you want to find out what to do about that, then Final Fantasy 9 is the way to go.
Sorry,
It's
the
deep.
Bible. This is a true source.
Escape the cost of living crisis in the world of Final Fantasy. Sound
Yeah,
advice.
it should be kind of like handed out by the government, a free copy at every house.
Standard
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start your own religion, just knocking every door? Is like, have you played the good copy of the Final Fantasy 9?
You don't want to know that I've considered it. Like you don't question how passionate I am about this game. I got to give you some upsetting answers, okay? But it's until you play it, you'll understand when you play it. But just understand.
Okay, so if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, if people have played it, they're gonna be like, yeah, okay, yeah.
What generation did that game initially launch for? Was that a PS1 game or PS2 game or?
Actually, yeah, no, it's important you ask because that's probably why it's not as well known as it should be. It was released at the very end of the PlayStation 1 era, and so it was like the PS2 came out shortly after it. I think it may have been like less than a year or like just a year after it. And on top of that, it was like 3 Final Fantasy games were released in succession. So it was like 9 came out and then 10 came out quickly after that, and then like it was very it kind of got overshadowed by PS2 all pretty new gen graphics and stuff. So which is a shame.
So where are you playing it currently, on Steam or?
But yeah, I'm playing it on PlayStation 5 now. Because it's like it's one of those games that keep re-releasing. So there's been like ports to every console imaginable. So like you'll find it if you look for it.
Cool.
Nice. Well, that is all the games we've been playing. Some of us more than others really been playing. But hey, no judgment here. There can be a lot worse things to be obsessed with.
Final Fantasy 8.
Oh, shoot. Final Fantasy 8 lovers, take it. Oh well. But moving on to the news. So our first news story, Cyberpunk 2077 is finally getting an expansion. It's called Phantom Liberty. Big thing is it won't be on last gen console, so sorry Xbox One, sorry PlayStation 4, sorry Wii U, even though you had nothing to do with it, which thank God, it would just broke your console.
Didn't it break? It
Daniel?
broke a few people's just general console in general, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it broke the PlayStation 4.
Yeah. No. That's lucky Wii U.
Yeah, the Wii U had other problems like its own existence. Oh, but Daniel, I feel like you're passionate about Cyberpunk 2077. What's your take?
Listen, I mean, I'm glad they're still working on it because I feel like if you keep working that game, it could become something, that it should, maybe it might eventually become what it should have been at launch, like No Man's Sky style. But as it stands at the minute, I don't think Cyberpunk 2077 is there on its own. But a reason to pick up the game again is always welcome because, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I'm totally done with Cyberpunk. Like, if it wasn't for this story DLC being released, I probably would never go back to that game. So the fact that we've got a reason to now, I do have a question though. So I own the PS4 copy of the game. I also own a PS5 console. Can I play this DLC through the PS4 disc on my PS5? Or do I need to buy a PS5 copy of Cyberpunk? That's my question.
You're granted, I am not a CD Projekt Red. That would be a plot twist, but I think you'll be good.
Yeah, because I assume it's the hardware limitations of the old consoles that's stopping players from playing this. So I reckon if you've got a copy of the game and you can access even if you access the DLC through the game, like when you open the game, I'm sure they'll have some sort of marketing promotion crap that comes up, a pop-up window. Surely you can just download it on the store, right? Like you would think.
Hopefully you won't have problems with it. Like you shouldn't, but
well, I can be the test. I'll have a look-see and I'll let you know how I got on.
You can report back next podcast. Yeah.
When is it actually coming out? Do we have a date for it? Is it really soon?
Next year. Just
oh, okay.
So you're not allowed on this podcast until it comes out.
That's fair enough. Listen, we all have our homework to do.
And you come back on and you're just like, yeah, I know it didn't work. All right, well, that's it.
Now,
Working less on my camera as well.
We all have issues. But Owen, do you think this DLC will be better than the game? Actually, have you even played the game?
I haven't, but I consider me not playing Cyberpunk is me not running into a burning building, right? Like it's kind of.
I can't argue with that logic.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know, not a finished product or I play it for fun, but again, I wouldn't like to laugh at it, but I wouldn't pay a full price of a AAA game to laugh at it. But anyway, no, I haven't played it. Do I think this DLC will be better? What's up, Dan?
Just because, to be fair, it's not full price. It has dropped significantly in price.
It would want to, yeah.
Yeah, you can pick it up now for like 20, 30,
Oh, okay.
35.
Okay,
maybe not on current gen. I'm probably thinking about the PS4 copies, but the PS5 ones maybe 30. Like I assume you'll be able to get if you were interested. It's not it's quite cheap to get your hands on. I think.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of price is on Steam. To be honest, I've not checked PC prices in a while, but I think it's probably going pretty cheap on there as well.
Oh, okay. So that's called. I think it says €50 on PlayStation, which is still no, I wouldn't pay that. But do I think the DLC? What's up?
Think on Amazon. It's a bit more reasonable.
Wait until
yeah, I
Black
take it.
Friday.
Exactly. If that's not a game I'm playing full price for until it's either fixed or the full price is cut in half. But yeah, no, I do think the DLC is going to be better, and the main reason I think that is because they're not releasing it on the old gens, and I think like the people making the game came out and said was the reason that it was such a train wreck is the developers were forced, or like the people who actually making the game were forced to port it to last gen and make it work on PS4 when they never should have done that in the first place, because it just would not have, it just wouldn't, the system wasn't strong enough for it. It wasn't a good enough console to be able to play it in the first place. They had to do a lot of work just to get that port to work, and that kind of took away from making a finished game for PS5. So I think the fact that they can now focus on the current gen of consoles alone and not like have to worry about PS4 and stuff, that could be a very good sign, and this could come out and be definitely much better than the base game was at launch, if not a very, very good gaming experience in general.
Noah, if this came out on Game Pass, would you play it?
I might give it a try. I think Owen was kind of right on the money there, saying like at some point you got to retire the previous generation of consoles, and they kind of missed the mark on this one.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But, I mean, we talked about with, like, Cyberpunk 2077, this could be, like, the next No Man's Sky, and how it was just terrible at launch, but over time has become, like, a great game that everyone is, like, super passionate about. So I feel like this is, like, the first big test. And if they fail this, it's done.
Yeah.
The issue that I've always got with that comparison, though, No Man's Sky was developed by Hello Games, who are a very small studio of like 20 people max.
And
Cyberpunk's
CD
coming
Projekt
from
isn't.
it's coming from a
Yeah.
AAA, studio on a totally different level. They should have had this game in a better state before it launched. Like it's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that this game was originally meant to come out in 10 years before it did, like we initially got that trailer in slow motion and like all of that. The fact that we waited so long, we'd suffered through all this marketing and Keanu E3 and the trailer and all the rest of it, and then just to put out something that it's like, oh, it might be good in 2 years' time. It's like it's not good enough. It's not okay. It's not good practice. It's not a good. I don't know. I don't think that should be supported, to be honest. But
I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a danger of it becoming the norm for game developers to put out games and be like, it's all right. Like, just don't run sideways in this like entire, half of the game, and you won't glitch through the map and like, it's playable. Like, it's not like, okay.
It's also, I think before this game we really held CD Projekt up to this kind of idealist lens, and it was like they should do kind of like Naughty Dog before Last of Us 2. I was like, they could do no wrong at a certain point. Like studios like Ubisoft and EA, it was like, yeah, their games are broken, everyone kind of knows this, go in and whatever. Certain studios had that reputation. Cyberpunk was a studio that just didn't have that behind it, and now it's like, because I mean, I don't know if you guys probably remember when The Witcher 3 came out in the same year as Fallout 4, and everyone and their mother was saying, how come CD Projekt Red can make this incredible game that runs well and blah blah blah, and Bethesda can't do the same with Fallout? And it's like, well, really, they've just shot themselves in the foot, because now they've just became total hypocrites and released something that's borderline unplayable. So it's like, I don't know, it's frustrating.
Maybe that was their plan. Like maybe they felt like they're under too much pressure, so they're like, "Hey, let's release the worst game. Like, let's make a game and then tear it apart piece by piece, and then
take the focus off of us." Yeah,
and then
have
like
a great comeback, like have a big comeback. Yeah,
set the bar super low. Yeah,
why not?
I would. Pressure is terrible. If people are expecting good things from you, that's awful. God, I wouldn't like that. I'd make a Cyberpunk.
I would make it Cyberpunk 2069, just so the internet would back me.
They would. They would.
You had to, if your game was called 2069 and Keanu was in it, you would have all the internet goodwill going. Like, yeah.
You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
Yeah.
It's like, good, Kiana, just be yourself. This is how we get sales. But enough of that. And on to our final news story. I don't want to say this is a big one, because it's console war stuff. I hate it. But yet again, if the boss of PlayStation is trying to call out Microsoft, it's a little big. And this is all because of Microsoft's post-acquisition of Call of Duty. They try to make an offer. It turns out PlayStation could refuse. And Daniel, I don't know if you wrote an article on KeenGamer about this, but I feel like you would.
I didn't cover that specific story, no, because I think, like yourself, as much as I've often covered things like trends and console war and Xbox versus PlayStation and stuff, and all the acquisition stuff that's happening at the minute, I seen this and I was kind of like, is this newsworthy? Like, as you said, I know that it's the head of PlayStation, but it's very... It reminds me... Comments like this remind me of a different time. They remind me of like what was his name? Major Nelson? It reminds me of like that era of Xbox versus PlayStation, like kind of like the mid-2000s. But as you said, it's interesting when you see kind of the big boys having a kind of public, squabbling match. It's always kind of interesting for the consumer to see that. But I don't know, it's just a schoolboy nonsense, really, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. And it's like, some people are like, man, good for PlayStation for calling out. It's like, no, don't sympathize PlayStation. They have, both companies have a ton of problems with them. So it's kind of like, wait a second, but it's like the exclusivity of PlayStation and taken from like Eastern Studios, and it's like, But
at the end of the day, that's always been my stance on the console war. Vote with your wallet. You work hard for your money, and you shouldn't just give it to. You shouldn't give it to any company out of brand loyalty. You should expect more from them. They're providing a service that you're giving them your hard-earned cash for. They should be able to earn that from you, and not just expect it because of some misplaced sense of loyalty.
And it's like, I do like competition. Competition breeds all these ideas. Without the Game Pass, we wouldn't have had this updated PlayStation Now / Plus, whatever they're still calling it. Essential Spartan. Remember when it was gonna be like, it was like codename Project Spartan?
Project Spartan.
They should have kept that.
Was that the codename for the new PlayStation thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn, that's way better.
Like
right.
The whole service, like the new PlayStation Plus, like the updated, like essential premium, the other stuff. This is why I'm not like in marketing. It's like, what would you call it? It's like Plus, and like that's good.
Yeah.
The code names are always better than the final products. Like the PS4 Pro was called Project Morpheus before that launched. Why did they not just call it PlayStation Morpheus? That would be awesome, but apparently not.
And granted, I do like the Nintendo Switch name. Very clever. But Nintendo X.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's bad.
What?
That's-
The Switch or X?
X. Well, it's like X. I don't like it because X is very much like, I hear X, I think the Xbox, right? Microsoft kind of like took the X and that's their brand now, right?
Yeah.
Like the X is their whole thing. You can't make it like, if someone made a PlayStation X, right? That would be nothing but shade on Microsoft. They would be just better words, it's making fun of them. So yeah, no.
The major troll.
Yeah,
What
stay
if
away
they
from
were
X.
called PlayStation Box?
Oh, that's bad too.
The
Oh, that's
Playbox.
really bad. Playbox, yeah.
The Playbox X.
Which sounds very different
Yeah.
in the Keen Not Safe for
To be
Work
fair,
podcast, which we will probably never have.
Nintendo are so like nonchalant and don't care about what anyone thinks of them that if Nintendo turned around and said our next console called the Playbox, no one would bat an eyelid. People were like, that's just so Nintendo.
Yeah,
That's
and I think
so like out of left field.
that's how they should be. I think that's how everyone should be, right? Just not caring. about what the competition's up to. Just doing your own thing.
Exactly. With Mima, Nintendo, just if they called it like the Yay Station, I would have been like, oh, good for them. They're making new stuff.
Yeah. I know, like there's a good value in like the meme aspect of that as well, right? But like that's good marketing. If they call it like the EA station or something like that, people get on board. And that stuff's like, remember when KFC didn't they announce the console, and like there was like a really big
Oh my god, that's
meme
right.
thing about, yeah, like the memes took that far, just so.
Yeah.
Side note, I don't know for what video game or whatever, but there is this bundle pack at Buffalo Wild Wings. Only because you mentioned KFC. And it's like, you want wings and fries and this cool little like blue cube. And it's like, that's only for $10? Looks like the Tesseract. It's probably for like some League of Legends thing.
What's that place called? Where is it available?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's just an American thing, I guess. Never heard of
Yeah,
it.
I don't think they
Yeah, we
have
don't have
those
it.
overseas. I call it B-dubs for short.
This is why I don't go international waters. So you don't have any Buffalo Wild Wings? No. Oh, we do have like bangers. What the hell is a banger?
You mean a banger?
I don't.
You mean
I
like
don't know,
bangers and mash?
Yeah, I think that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Banger.
love bangers and mash, but we call them sausages. But yeah, we have those.
Yeah, I feel like this is like just bad stand up. Like, what's the? Can you believe those British people? Their queen is dead, and they have they eat baked beans in the morning. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What is barbecue? And they going camping? It's
Yeah.
not nice out. It's always cloudy and rainy. Am I right? This guy gets it.
Yeah. There's a very big culture of memes around how terrible English food is. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yet
Yeah.
again, I am
Yeah.
Irish, and it's like, what do we have? It's like, we got potatoes. It's like, yeah, we have the thing that other countries will make much better.
Yeah, British people still eat like the Germans are flying overhead. That
Yeah.
was one that happened
Yeah,
recently, and that's spot
Yeah.
on.
It's fun, yeah.
It's like whatever Winston Churchill ate, that's British people food.
Like I know that cultural appropriation gets a bad name, but see, without it, my God, our diet would be terrible. Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe Jim Ryan called out Xbox.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Noah, you're an Xbox fanboy. I'm going to start this console war. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's some hurt feelings in there. I mean, like if
Oh!
PlayStation can have Call of Duty, like that kind of is an offer and they need to accept, regardless of how Phil Spencer presents it to them. Like that, not having Call of Duty sucks. So I understand the PlayStation bosses, as the article calls it, the PlayStation bosses' frustration, but yeah, like it is something he has to do for his employees and for his players.
I don't know. I get the sense that it's like they're lucky that they're even letting them keep it. Like, see if Xbox wanted, they could say, "Hey, it's ours now. Bye." Like,
Yeah.
have fun trying to sell Battlefield or something on PlayStation. Like, they could easily just take it away altogether. So it's kind of like take your small victories. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I want to play Call of Duty. It's like, we got Call of Duty at home, and it's Battlefield.
Yeah.
Not as fun. But, yeah, British people food, man. Am I right?
that was a much funner topic.
Because about this podcast, because we had D23 and Ubisoft Forward this weekend. 2 big presentations. 2 companies that everybody loves. Wink if you are listening to the audio version. So I feel Ubisoft had a lot more announcements. So let's just go with the Disney one first. And we're going to be talking about the game stuff. But if you guys want to talk about some of like the trailers, as in the, what is it? The the Star Wars. God, I'm sounding like the old person. Yeah, the Star Wars and
The
your
Star
Marvels and your Hocus Pocus 2s. But let's talk about the big announcement from D23, and that's Amy Hennig's new game. I'm so hyped. It's coming from her, so anything, it's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. But a World War II game with Captain America and Black Panther. Now, keep in mind, it's Captain America, Steve Rogers. Black Panther, not T'Challa. T'Challa's grandfather, I believe.
Yeah, his grandfather, yeah.
Because T'Challa was not frozen in ice.
Most aren't.
Fact. Noah, are you hyped up as me?
Yeah, I'm excited about the Star Wars.
The Star Wars.
I like both concepts, Tales of the Jedi and Andor. I'm kind of worried that Tales of the Jedi just is going to be too short to satisfy fans. Like, they keep calling them shorts and saying there's only 6 of them. Like, I think you need more out of that. That's my opinion. It's too good an idea to not see all the way through. Yeah, and I've seen some potential in those trailers for some really cool lightsaber duels. So I'm looking forward to those 6 shorts coming out. And Andor, I think that Andor is going to be a lot better than most people realize. The critics have had mixed feelings, but with Star Wars, it's like everyone, there's no predicting like what fans are gonna like and not like. It with Star Wars, it's just you always end up in these camps with everything Star Wars puts out, and I think Andor is going to be really good. It's been described as like Jason Bourne at Star Wars, and I think that. Right, just thinking about like the pace of those movies and also the tone, the tone and pace of those, I think it's perfect for Star Wars. I think that's I think this show is going to give the directors an idea that okay, this is how we do Star Wars. Because there's flaws with everything in Star Wars, and I think this is going to be the closest to this is how Star Wars should be done that we've seen in a long time.
Bold
Sorry,
claim.
my parents' dogs are barking in the background.
I don't hear them.
I don't hear them, but I wish I did.
Because they're really angry. They disagree with all your takes, Noah. It's not too short. It's just the perfect amount. We don't need any of the Star Wars.
They don't like Jujus.
Don't you put that label on my dogs, man. I don't want my dogs to get canceled. Oh, Daniel, what announcements are you excited from D23?
I mean, the Amy Hennig thing is obviously the big one. I'm just glad to see that Amy Hennig's back, because I feel like she has gone through quite a lot since our kind of glory days of Uncharted, and it's kind of like, I don't know if I would have the resilience, because she get, let's be honest, it sounds like she get kind of muscled out of Naughty Dog, and then with Uncharted 4. And then she goes to a studio and works on this awesome looking Star Wars game, which gets swept away from under her. And then she was writing for a while about like crunch and how it affected her family, not being there for her kids and stuff. It was a really kind of candid piece that she wrote, really interesting. If you're into sort of inside baseball game development stuff. And I was also at that period where everyone was being announced a crunch, Rockstar and all these different studios. It was just interesting to hear her take on it. But the fact that she's back making games, she's not only working on this, she's also working on the Star Wars game again, which is essentially a revival of 1313. I couldn't be happier, man. That's some buzz. The fact that one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest storytellers working in gaming today is giving us a Marvel game and a Star Wars game. Are you kidding me on? That sounds incredible. I'm a massive fan of Amy Hennig stuff. Love the Legacy Arcane stuff. Love the Uncharted stuff that she did. I can't wait to see what she does with these sort of established IP.
I think it's great as well, because there hasn't really okay, well, the MCU seems there's arguments it's gone downhill recently, but the movies, like in the day, those movies were like they were big. Like people loved those movies. Like Endgame, like that was like the hype, the most hype you could generate around cinema. It was like associated with the MCU, but whenever they were translated to games, they kind of just seemed to fall flat. And I'm only thinking of like the Avengers game. Really, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Like there's been some mobile games, but who plays those? So like I don't know. I kind of thinking. Oh, is there another one then?
There was that. It wasn't a great game, right? But see, for a movie tie-in game, there was a game that came out alongside the first Captain America game. First Captain America movie. Even they made a
Right.
game, and do you know what? It was decent. You played as Cap, run about World War II,
Really?
fighting Nazis. I had
It was,
some sort of Arkham
based on the
Asylum
movie,
combat.
right?
Yeah. It's based on
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah.
Like that
And it had
was
some sort of Arkham Asylum combat.
decent.
And do you know what? I wasn't as on the level of like something like Insomniac Spider-Man, but it was fun. It was actually surprisingly better than I think most people thought it was going to be.
again
Anyway.
based on the like different scale of like games, like movie game tie-ins.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there was a Thor game which was garbage. There was an Iron Man game that I never even played that tied into the first film. Like I think in the early days of the MCU, they did try to launch a few of them, and the only one of note I think was the Captain America one. I think everything else was
I
garbage.
never even heard about that. That sounds cool. 'Cause, like, what had me really excited about this game is like it's Captain America and Black Panther, and they fight like properly. It's like fisticuffs. It's not like magic. It's like proper, just like brawling. Like we'll probably get a lot of
Yeah.
kind of Arkham Asylum like that type thing, which is very exciting. Because if it's World War II, we're going to be beating up like helpless soldiers, and that's going to be fun. Like, what can they do against superheroes, right? That's going to be great.
What
So,
if they
yeah,
were Nazis? I don't know
Yeah.
why I said it like that, but it's like
Like a Halloween.
I try to make them
character.
spooky, but yet
Ooh,
again,
Nazi.
it's like ooh, the Nazis. It's like
think
no, Nazis are already spooky.
yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that.
I think you're playing down how sinister Nazis are.
Yeah, I'm like really down. Like ooh. Yet again, like Captain America and Black Panther can just easily beat up Nazis. Super Nazis, very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll probably be like some like
Some
you know,
Wolfenstein stuff going on.
yeah, Wolfenstein stuff going on. Literally exactly that. So
Nazi
yeah, no,
mech. Yeah.
this could be a really good. This could be like the MCU's big splash onto like video game. This could be the one that people go, oh damn, like it's a good game. But
That, and I think the most exciting thing for me, like maybe it's probably in some comics, Lord knows, but it's like World War II Captain America teaming up with Black Panther sounds incredible, and it's like if this hasn't been done in comics, what the hell happened? Because that just writes itself, and it's like. Not only like would Captain America use a gun? Probably no, but like Black Panther has well, granted it's in the 40s, but yet again they're so technologically advanced. There's probably some Wakandan weapons they can use. I don't think it'll be an open world game,
which is okay.
which yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I would
fine.
rather it wasn't, to be honest.
Actually, it would just sound weird. It's like it's an open world game. Yeah, it's set in World War II. Huh?
Yeah.
I would much prefer a narrative experience, I think, if I had
Yeah.
the option.
Yeah, like
for this.
Uncharted, like these big set pieces.
Yeah.
Only reason, well, granted, there is that rumor going around of like, there's a Black Panther game in development at EA, which will be an open world game, which I'm all for. But very excited about that, and also from D23. This just looks cute. The Mickey Mouse game.
Oh yeah, that does look cute.
Because I've seen like the new Mickey Mouse like shorts, like whatever like shorts / show is inspired by like the game or vice versa. Just mix that up. Very funny and kind of twisted.
Okay,
And I
I can
feel
get
like
behind that.
that's like that same humor is present in the game, and it's like okay for like I wouldn't pay full price for this game, but I think like a fun platformer, why not?
Yeah, and it's like it's gonna be a co-op game, and like they're saying it'll have split screen and like online local and stuff like that. So like that's fun. Like we always love a good couch co-op game,
And one last thing from me, the Marvel World of Heroes, which I don't know what it will be, but it's from the same developer that made Pokemon Go. So who knows?
As a big Pokemon Go fan, that could be good. That sounds exciting. I don't know what they'll do because it's supposed to have like a create your own hero type thing in it.
Yeah.
But I think they've done good stuff with Pokemon Go, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. It could be fun. Strange concept.
And it's like, can I just walk? That was the best part about Pokemon Go. It just gave me an excuse to walk. Drained the hell out of my battery, but hey. And then one last thing from the game presentation that I want to touch upon and ask your opinion. I'm surprised we got a new release for Marvel Midnight Suns. Or I should say, I'm more surprised of like, really? You guys are going for December?
Yeah, that's soon.
Very. And it's like, what's the remake everyone's buzzing about? Or, I don't know, Dead Space?
Dead Space is January, Callisto Protocol December.
Callisto Protocol, I don't know why. It's like Summer Game Fest. All space horror are the same. Sorry, Jessica. I know you'd just be very upset by that statement. Anyway, is any... Owen, are you excited for Marvel Midnight Suns?
Kind of like I don't know. The teaser trailer I saw, it was like linked with the IGN article. That just seems very just meh. Like, it's just superheroes doing superhero things. Like, yeah, okay, cool. But like, what else? We have a lot of those coming up with like Arkham Knights is coming up soon. And like DC games have been cool. Like the Suicide Squad game that's coming up. Like,
next year.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
Gotham
what?
Knights.
Oh, Gotham, yeah, Gotham Knights as well.
It's coming at the end of October. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. I kind of am thinking, like, what can they do that, DC won't do better? Kind of, what I'm thinking, but.
True enough. Noah, what's your thoughts?
I'm not a huge Marvel fan. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Captain America plus Black Panther. I think a lot of people will go for that. So, yeah, I agree. Like, what's the point of an open world for a concept like that? But I don't have many thoughts. That's about it.
Daniel, are you gonna buy this game?
The Black Panther's cap game, 100%. I'm buying that, yeah, 100%. Same with Hennig. It's two of my favourite Marvel characters. It's right up my street. The thing I wanted to touch on, though, was the absence that was felt from Insomniac. I don't know about you guys, but I was really expecting me to at least show Spider-Man 2. I think showing Wolverine would have been a stretch, but I thought at the very least we'll see a bit of Spider-Man 2 game, but they weren't there. And I think that left a big hole in the conference because personally, there was, other than the Captain America game, there was nothing I was hyped about. There was nothing that really thought, oh, I'm dying to play this. There was nothing. I have no interest in Midnight Suns. It's turn-based and it's not my thing at all. The mobile stuff doesn't do it for me. I was not a Pokemon Go person, so that thing doesn't interest me at all. To be honest with you, it was just that one trailer. That was really all that was notable for me during this stream. What would have been cool would have been if they bookmarked it with those two announcements, or those two trailers. If they'd shown the Captain America Black Panther trailer and then closed out with the trailer for Spider-Man 2, I think that would have been a nice, worthwhile conference. I think as it stands, the fact that they spent, was it an hour, however long it lasts, and really the only takeaway was that one trailer, it just seems a bit of a letdown, in my opinion.
I mean, personally, I wasn't expecting like much. It's like, oh, we'll hear about Amy Hennig. her game, but I figured like I feel like a PlayStation like presentation is coming up in like the works. That's where we'll get our like Spider-Man 2. And I feel like anything like if they already showed like they had the announcement teaser, they had another trailer, let's say like during E3, as I not go for the mic.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know. I was kind of expecting to see more of the Ubisoft avatar, but
Yeah. Because did they show, where did we see that Avatar trailer for the mobile thing? Was that here or was that during the Ubisoft stream?
that was for here.
Because I saw, I saw that and I thought, what have they done to that game? Why does it look garbage? Why does it look like Fortnite? And then it got to the end and I was like, oh, okay, it's not the one we care about. That's fine. It's the one that's the mobile
that was
thing
like,
that no one gives a shit about. That's good.
It's
I
like
was
Avatar,
so panicked.
like this groundbreaking technical thing.
Yeah.
It's like how do you translate to video games? And it's like mobile. And it's like
I was like, why have they made Fortnite with Avatar skins? Like, what's going on? But no, I was relieved when the title came up at the end, and I was like, oh, thank God.
It's like it's an MMO, isn't it? That's a strange thing they're bringing into the Avatar universe, an MMO. That's gonna be weird, man. I'm gonna watch some videos on that. That's gonna be, I don't know. Looking forward to seeing how they do that. But like different classes and stuff, like how I don't know. That's strange.
again, this won't be our only mobile game talk, but we'll get to Ubisoft. Did any like I didn't have any high expectations, so just like, oh, that one thing looked cool. Cool. It exceeded my expectations. Because I feel like the whole D23 event, not just the games as a whole, hi, this is Mark Callahan. Nice to meet you. Internet. Nice to meet you. Lower your expectations. You thought you were going to get the fantastic forecasts? Henry Cavill was going to come out and all these trailers? No. Stop it. Get some help. I don't know, but Owen, if you had to rate the D23 games showcase out of 10 Mickey Mouses, oh well, what would you give it?
His clubhouses.
Yeah,
I would give it like maybe a 5.5, and 5 of those points are for the Mickey Mouse platformer and the what's it called, Captain America and Black Panther World War II game. The rest of the stuff, I'm like, eh. Oh no, they did announce Return to Monkey Island. I never played that series, but I know a lot of people who are big fans of that, so that's cool. So I'll give it a 6.
fair enough. Noah,
I'll also go 6.
sweet. Daniel,
Yeah. How many points did Amy Hennig's game get it? Because that was the only thing of note.
Yeah,
I guess that's worth like 3 points, so 3.
I'm gonna give it like a 6. It was just okay. Like, again, this shouldn't be the level of like, oh my god, this is like E3. It's like this isn't even like a Marvel game showcase. It's a Disney with Marvel and all of their IP. What'd you expect? Speaking of IP and Disney, segue. So, Noah, you already mentioned some of the Star Wars announcements. This is just a broad, general, like, what did you like? It could be any of, like, the Disney movies, the Marvel trailers, Star Wars. Daniel, anything that perked your interest?
From the general stuff, Mandalorian Season 3 looks cool. I don't know. I don't care, Mark. I'm sad we didn't get Fantastic Forecast. Like, that was the
no
two
John Bodega.
the two things that I was expecting to walk away from this with was the Fantastic Forecast and a look at Spider-Man 2. And the fact that we didn't get either just saddened me, to be honest. It's put a damper on the whole thing. But it was fine. It was fine. Hocus Pocus 2, why not? Like, just cash grab nonsense. Like, sure, Disney Plus if you want. Like, a sequel to Disenchanted, okay, Disney, sure. Like, it's just any old cash cow that you can milk, but that's just a cynical person that I am. But yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Sure. The big corporate event full of horrible people, it's fine.
That is a bold accusation, Dan. Calling Disney a cash cow?
Yeah.
Name
all that
one
worthwhile stuff on
example.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, besides the Pinocchio, which, by the way, I watched, and it was not good.
Yeah, I heard.
Why did I watch it?
Why?
I hate myself.
See the way that I feel about The Last of Us remake, it's almost how I feel about these live action Disney remakes. It's like, what is the point in doing The Little Mermaid again? What is the point in doing Pinocchio again? It's very much how I feel about Last of Us remake. It's the same sort of
I will
vibe.
give it this. The Last of Us Part 1 does not have any like modern pop culture references.
Great.
Yeah, it's
No
I
TikTok.
feel like that's a whole other discussion, but
Well, I guess I'm going to say it's not a modern reference, but they do have a reference to Twilight in the Last of Us game, which I always forget about when they see those posters for Fear of the Dawn, or whatever it's called, and it's like their version of Twilight in the Last of Us universe.
yeah, why not?
That's a strange movie to shout out, isn't it? Of all the movies.
But that's just got me another thing though that I did like the look of Werewolf by Night. Looked interesting because it looked like Marvel doing something different, and I always like to see that. I'm so sick of seeing the same cape shit time after time. So when they get someone in that's a bit different, like WandaVision was interesting because that was a whole sitcom concept, and then Doctor Strange was a Sam Raimi movie set in the MCU. You know, I like seeing them do different things, even if it's not, you know, vastly different. But doing like a kind of Vincent Price classic Universal Monsters horror type thing, that's awesome. I'm so up for that. And I think we also got a look at Man-Thing from the comics in that trailer at one point. And yeah, it's just got that whole like Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's got that kind of vibe of like the kind of classic old school Hammer horror stuff, which I'm into. Bride of Frankenstein and all that good stuff. But yeah, it looks Werewolf by Night looks cool. I'm looking forward to that.
You said it before me. That looked really cool. Secret Invasion looked cool. The Thunderbolts cast, I am excited, but no Zemo, no Abomination.
No Thunderbolt Ross. R.I.P. William Hurt.
I was gonna say there's a legitimate reason for that one.
They could have had a CGI Red Hulk though and got away with it.
And I'm like, they would never, but Disney's like, oh, well, that's good. Get Sam Elliott back as
They do it in Star Wars all the time, don't they? With Luke and Leia and Tarkin, and so wouldn't put it past them.
Very
Also,
true.
didn't they tweet from Chadwick Boseman's accounts to promote the
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They tweeted Wakanda Forever from Chadwick Boseman's Twitter to promote the upcoming Black Panther.
They also liked the trailer. Jesus Christ, this day.
That's so messed up.
I am going to say, in fairness of that, I feel like the Chadwick Boseman like family, wife, estate was heavily involved in Wakanda Forever. That is the glass half full optimistic side. The other side, yeah, it's pretty messed up.
They liked the trailer. Oh my god.
At least what? It would have been really bad if, because I saw the tweet and it's just Wakanda Forever, and they give like it's just Wakanda Forever in caps. It's not like hashtag San Diego Comic-Con, hashtag
Get
Black
your tickets
Panther.
here.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Listen, it's not in any way surprising that Disney would use a dead man's account to promote their movie. That's just par for the course when it comes to these people. So,
Oh, and any
they've done worse. They've done worse.
They did.
Let's not open that kind of worms.
Owen, anything else you liked from D23?
I didn't really watch any of the. I didn't really pay attention to any of the like TV show stuff because or anything like you watch that's not a video game because that's not really my cup of tea. Well, recently I just like if I can game, I'll game. Why be watching TV when I could be gaming? But like going back through there really is like we talked about all the good games. Like I don't know. I guess go Thunderbirds. Never watched it, but I hope it's good. But no.
Fair enough. Now, I know we've been very negative about Disney and all that, but let's go over to another corporation, Ubisoft. Yeah.
Much better.
You see, every time you're on the podcast, Daniel, I just become like the most capitalist, like they're all pigs. And then I get off the podcast, it's like, I'm going to shop on Amazon.
I bring it out. I bring it out of people. What can I say?
But as soon as you leave, it's like, let's go.
Go back to be a corporate shell.
Oh, yeah, I'm just back to corporate shell. But I got to say, so I was confused because I thought it was just an Assassin's Creed only thing. I didn't know it was a full-on Ubisoft event. So I was like, oh, wow, we're getting a lot of stuff. Now, I mean, before we talk about all the Assassin's Creed stuff, because I feel like that's a whole separate thing, did anything stand out to you guys? What did you like about the Ubisoft besides Assassin's Creed?
What about the Mario and Rabbids DLC?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too.
And then even the only other thing that really I thought looked worthwhile was them showing Skull and Bones. But that very much just felt like them saying, listen, see that game? It's still happening, by the way. It's still coming out. Like it felt like a wee kind of reminder. I don't know. I feel like because of the delays and because they were pushing it so hard at every kind of conference, and then they kind of pulled back. And I've kind of forgot about it. Like I kind of forgot it was coming out. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, that's right. That game's still happening. And that was what this trailer felt like. It was like, just in case you forgot. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I mean, they've just taken Assassin's Creed 4 and then taken the Assassin's Creed name off it and then made a sequel, which Assassin's Creed 4 was a good one. So why not? Sure. I'll probably play this. I like pirate stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Skull and Bones seemed exciting too. So this fictional concept of colonial era pirates that we've kind of adopted is fun. I like it. And yeah, like I'm a big One Piece fan that takes a very unique perspective on what it is to be a pirate. It's very different than anything I've seen before, and that I like the idea of Skull and Bones like game. I may give that a try.
Oh, I forgot you're a One Piece fan, Noah. I feel like that was your number one on what was the podcast? TV show / movies we want into games.
Yeah, that was good.
Now, Owen, can you please stall for me while I look this up? It's about Assassin's Creed, but just what did you like from the Ubisoft, especially that Mario and Rabbids, because I'm on the same page.
Yeah, Mario and Rabbids, man, probably one of the most hyped DLCs I've ever heard about. To bring in Rayman in to the game that I didn't know existed until I read this thing. Are the Rabbids, are they from? I thought they were originally. Where did the Rabbids come from? They just popped into games. Are they from anything?
They were their own thing. They were like Ubisoft's minions, basically. They were like the minions.
Yeah, exactly. They existed before Minions, though.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, really?
They did.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I always glad you brought that up, Dan. I've always thought that same thing about the Minions, and like they totally stole this from Ubisoft. They're just like the Rabbids.
Yeah.
The Rabbids are crazy, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're wild.
They're like rabies, like wild.
They are. They're like rabbits with rabies. They are. That's literally. You're right.
It's like they combine rabies with rabbits. Oh my god, that's how they came up with it.
That's not okay.
Mario better-
Rabies isn't cute. Like that's a serious thing. Like,
Mario better
Ubisoft's
watch
like,
because if
"Tee, they
Donkey
have
Kong,
rabies."
if Donkey Kong and Yoshi get rabies, then that's a monkey and a vicious dinosaur. Do you know what I mean? Like Mario better watch what he's doing, passing that on. Like the next Smash Brothers, it's just Mario's corpse while Donkey Kong and the lizard eating. Like, yeah,
Hey, well,
pretty dark.
Daniel, can you not give spoilers on the new Mario movie?
Listen,
Rogen's
that's how
Donkey
you-
Kong gets rabies.
That's how you get me on board. See if it's like Mortal Kombat style Mario characters. Yeah, I'll see that. That's how you get me
I
in the door.
cannot wait, side note, to get that Mario trailer. I want to hear the voice. I want to hear everyone's voice.
He's just going to sound like generic Chris Pratt, isn't he?
Yeah, but I want. Do you guys remember where you were when the cast was announced? That was a.
Do you know
Where
what?
were you?
I do actually remember I was taking the bins out and looking at my phone and being like, "What?" So I do
And I was
remember.
like, I was watching Nintendo Direct because I'm like, oh, maybe we'll get Breath of the Wild too, and that just came on, and it's just like, just when you think this casting announcement couldn't get any like wilder, they just go like, nope, checkmate. But guess what? Checkmate again, and again, and again.
I was in my college canteen having lunch. That's where I saw Chris Pratt with Mario. That changed my day.
It would
Done
change a
there.
lot of people's days.
Yeah. Interesting. Definitely interesting. Looking forward to seeing it. He said, I kind of forgot that movie was a thing until you mentioned it right there. I was like, oh yeah.
Never forget.
Yeah, because I've heard radio silence since that announcement that Chris Pratt with Mario, and that was a big thing, and then it's just nothing. No.
He's also Garfield, right?
He's taken over.
For some reason. Yeah.
He'll be
Gen-
like, come on,
generic
guys,
hero
I
voice."
hate Mondays. Lasagna. Great. Chris
Listen,
Pratt
after
impression.
that Jurassic World trilogy, he's probably looking for work at the minute. So at least he's still
but-
busy.
You mean he hasn't
Between his
gotten
homophobic
paid?
church and his other personal life stuff, which we probably shouldn't go into here.
No. But man, if this was the anti-Chris Pratt podcast, Twitter would love it. Jessica, put that in the docs. Anti-Pratt.
I'll skip that one. You can count me out of that, I guess.
I didn't like Chris Pratt before it was cool. Just saying.
Oh, damn. That's a flex.
You saw him in Wanted, and you're like, I hate this guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He gets with James McAvoy's girlfriend. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Gets hit on he gets keyboard slapped.
He does. That's a very satisfying scene, actually, seeing Chris Pratt's teeth fly out across the screen. I'm going to watch that film tonight, Mark. Thanks.
I don't think you should thank me. But
But that's what you get.
curve the bullet, Dan.
Courtney's like, "You're right. I'm fine now." That's what you get. That's for Mario.
But the main thing from this Ubisoft Forward, actually, one other thing besides all the Assassin's Creed stuff, I love Mythic Quest. If you have Apple TV Plus, I highly recommend it. It's actually a Ubisoft TV production. Very, very
Here's a
good.
question. This is maybe not the place for it because it's a gaming podcast, but is Mythic Quest, is it as good as Always Sunny? Is it on that same level? Because I love Always Sunny, and I'm a bit worried to watch Mythic Quest because I feel like it's going to not be as good.
No, I will say like nothing is like It's Always Sunny. I feel like that is its
yeah, that's true.
own thing. It's like if Seinfeld was super messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree that Always Sunny is in a different tier from every other American comedy. Like, I'm not a big... I personally prefer British comedy, but... Because remember the first time Always Sunny was recommended, I was like, it's American kind of two-camera sitcom. I was like, and then I watched it and I was like, I was wrong, and I'm so glad I was because it's one of the greatest shows ever. I love that
Like
show.
Mythic Quest, it definitely has some messed up humor. Does have a lot of heart, some little bit of drama. again a little tiny bit, but when they do it good. And I think there is an episode, and it's kind of like a standalone episode, and the general premise is like basically like I forget the in-universe game. It's about these two people that meet in the 90s. They fall in love. They develop a game together. It's like Resident Evil. And then it's just like everything after that. Like it's becoming too corporatized. It's moving away from the original game. There's movies. And it's like such a good episode. It's with Jake Johnson. I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
From New Girl, voices Peter B. Parker. And I can't pronounce her last name, but she plays the mother in How I Met Your Mother. She was in what was the Hulu Spring Break? Andy Samberg? No, it's not Spring Break. Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, yeah.
So she's also in that episode. Very standalone. Has nothing to do with the show except for a little bit at the end. That's when I was like, damn, this show's brilliant. But I'm like, that's off topic. I'm like, no, it's not. It's Ubisoft Forward. Yes. I wish Ubisoft would be like, but first, let's talk about British food. And it's like, guys, we're just staying on topic. But anyway, I feel like the big meat and potatoes out of all this is the Assassin's Creed. Because we got not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. Actually, no, we didn't get 5. 4 games.
I was like, how many? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I didn't read that many, man. What I missed?
Gotcha. But, man, I've stated on this podcast, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. You might call me a simp for that, if I knew what that word was. But, so much good stuff. I feel like let's just go right into the Mirage, which, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast, I was really confused how to pronounce Mirage. And I'm like, is it Mirage?
Mirage.
Yeah, like Mirage. And Noah, you're like, I think it's just Mirage. I'm like, oh, that's how you spell it. I'm like, Assassin's Creed, Mirage.
Mirage.
Which I feel like that should just how I pronounce the title from now on.
It's like
Sounds very
Mirage.
formal. Mirage. I don't know if that was a cat I just heard or
Yeah.
stomach.
What
Yeah,
is
what-
happening?
I think it might have been my stomach.
God damn, Noah. We talk about British food and B-dubs for you, and you're like, God, I can go for some Parmesan wings.
Oh,
No,
I'm struggling to find a place to put my mic where you're not getting some bad noise. I don't know.
So you put it in your stomach, it's like,
You
all right,
eat
they
your
won't hear
mic?
the fans, but God.
I thought it was a
think,
pig
like-
in there, man.
People think, like, did they just put, like, an audible stomach growling because they're talking about food? This is a radio show here? Like a pop shock? Like, man, I'm hungry.
Yeah,
We don't need a soundboard. We've got a Noah.
yeah.
On the try there. Can you still hear my voice okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear
All
your
right.
voice. And if we talk about banners and baked beans and fish and chips, we'll definitely hear your stomach. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Mirage, we talked about in the podcast last week, Noah. Even though we didn't get any gameplay, which, in fairness, I wasn't really expecting. This looks awesome. Have any of you guys played Valhalla?
Nope.
Nope.
I haven't.
God,
I think Noah's
I hear
stomach
it,
has.
Noah. I hear that stomach.
That might have been my vent, actually. Yes. I'm struggling here.
God, I remember that one podcast when we talked about Warner Brothers, and I was just hangry.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember
That was
that.
a dark
Violence.
episode.
That was really funny.
Swallowed a whole fake bottle of ibuprofen. Turns out it is not food,
Shocker.
and it's funny. So this was a couple days. It was like a week after we recorded that episode, and my dad asked me like, "Hey, what is your podcast?" And I'm like, you know the podcast name.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but I never even like listened to it because he's not interested in gaming and movies and all that. So he's like, I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm like, oh no. I've made too
What have I
many
done?
jokes about my family. I've made too many. Like, the last episode, I abused drugs. This is like the dark side of me, and it's like, you know what? Maybe you listen to like the Doctor Strange episode, and he listened to 5 minutes. He was like, "Oh my god, Mark, you were amazing," and he's like. And then I'm like,
Sweet.
thanks. And he's like, I stopped after 5 minutes. I didn't know what you're talking about, but good work. And I was like, great. That's the only thing you're getting out of this
That's all you have to
podcast.
know.
That's all you have to know. It's not like if thank God like Warner Brothers will never come up in conversation. I'll just deflect. Like, hey Mark, didn't you talk about Warner Brothers? I'm like, no, that would just be idiot. How was your day? But Mirage.
Mirage, yes.
Mirage.
That's Japanese one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Mirage sounds good. That sounds Japanese. I like that one. Imagine if they actually come out and they say that like it actually is Mirage, and everyone was saying Mirage. Like how great would I feel right now? Like it is Mirage. Yeah, I know that looks cool. But it does raise the question that a lot of other people have told me. It's just like, can they do it better than Sekiro and what was that other PlayStation exclusive Japanese
Ghost
sword
of
fighting game?
Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, it's kind of like you have both of them on the table now, and they're really good Japanese-based adventure sword fighting games. Like, you know,
Is
Are
this,
they too
is this
late?
Codename Red that we're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's Codename Red.
Oh, I'm so
However-
sorry.
Don't be sorry, Owen. We'll talk about Mirage. I'm just confusing you guys. Mirage now. Because I do want to talk about Codename Red, which is the feudal Japanese game, which fans have been, including myself, have been asking for years. Like, can we have a feudal Japanese setting? And then Ubisoft was like, no. I was like, oh, okay. But what a badass trailer. Jumps on the roof, has a I almost saw that. Yeah, you know, a Kenobi. I'm like, no, that's Star Wars.
A katana.
Has a katana. And then all of a sudden, shink, hidden blade. I'm like, give it to me. And to answer your question, Owen, no, it will not be better than those games.
Yeah, that's my thing with this. I feel like it's been requested for so long. It's kind of like John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic. It was requested for so long that when we finally get it, it's like there's better versions of this. Like especially with this, I feel like there's another game coming out. We spoke about the other week that was just announced, Where Winds
did.
Meet.
Yeah.
And Where Winds Meet to me looks far more intriguing than whatever this is. But we're getting both. Hopefully both are good. And as you said, Mark, people have been wanting this for years. But my thing with this is the fact that the fact alone that they're working on multiple different Assassin's Creed games at the same time is already a bit of a red flag for me. You know, coming from past Ubisoft titles where they don't always put out the most finished product in the world, is a nice way of saying it. You know, I'm like, can you guys handle making like 4 games at once? I know they're a huge studio, but don't take on too much kind of thing. The fact that the Japanese setting game isn't the kind of flagship one was almost a bit condescending, I think, to the fans. Because it's like, right, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to make Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is obviously the game that we want to make since that's like the flagship title. But you guys want this Japanese thing, so here you go. That's sort of how it feels, the way it was kind of put across. I felt like it was kind of like it was like the second rung on the ladder. And I feel like if this is something that you know your audience has been wanting for like 10 years, it should really be front and center. Don't know. That's just my observation.
And I think you're right as well. Like they're making a lot of Assassin's Creed games at once, and I'm just kind of like, the risk of doing that is people might, and they all have the same name, but like, you know, code name like Red or Mirage. They all like changed that one thing, and it's like, people could get mix up Mirage and Red. Like it's so easy.
And
I just did it. But
it's not the first time that they've did this. Remember Assassin's Creed Rogue? That one no one played. It came out in PS3 after the PS4 was out. They brought it as a PS3 exclusive, and then they eventually brought it.
Good.
I heard it was great. I've never played it because, like most people, I was on to PS4 by the time it came out. So why am I going to go back and play this PS3 game? And then when it eventually came to PS4, the next Assassin's Creed game was out. So it's like, why make these things, which are apparently, as you said, Mark, underrated and well received, and then bury them with other stuff? It's like,
because
I don't know. I mean,
at
that must be losing the money, right?
Ubisoft, well, I shouldn't say Ubisoft. The Assassin's Creed franchise, that's when the big comparisons of this is like the next Call of Duty really started to shape. And they were saying it before, but I think that one was like, this is like the next Call of Duty, and that's when the reception of those games went down. Now, if they do two game, that's different of let's say Rogue was released in May, and then Unity was released in November, only on next gen. This was the same day, which was crazy stupid, not a good stupid. But I feel like at least hey, these are the ideas. Ubisoft has definitely gotten bigger. Different studios will take on these projects, so I'm interested. And it's not coming 2023. They are just this is in development. This is in development. And the other mobile, which we'll get to, that's in development. The Mirage, that was this is 2023. This is the next main Assassin's Creed game. The thing is, and I believe, which we'll definitely talk about, what is the... I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce anything. I feel like that's my catchphrase. Hexe.
Oh,
I actually could pronounce it. I just forgot it.
The witchcraft one?
Yeah, which we'll get to that. It's okay, are these main Assassin's Creed games, Red and Hexe? Or are they going to be side things? Are you going to treat it like a main thing? Because it's this is just a side game. It kind of feels a little disrespectful, but I don't know. But yet again, we're just speculating on little bits of crumbs. I'm speculating on a little bit of crumbs. But
it's weird. What's weird to me is the heavy rumor going into this was that they were going to remake the first game. That was something that was reported quite widely. And the fact that they not only didn't announce that, but the fact that they came out and announced 4, or was it 5? 4 different Assassin's Creed things. 5? Yeah, 5, because Red, Hexe, Mirage, Jade, and the big update DLC for Valhalla. So they announced 5 things, and not one of them was a remake of the first game. It's okay, weird. The thing that everyone was expecting is the one thing you're not doing.
It's crazy. Granted, they didn't talk about any of the... Well, they actually did talk about the gameplay. That leak that... when it came out with Mirage, everything was right. Except... Well, I mean, the date can always change. They said 2023, but they said March, something like that. They're and guess what? Included in the season pass or by separate, a full remake of Assassin's Creed 1. And Ubisoft was no. Which again, would have been great, but y'all seen that Hexe trailer? Yeah, we're going witchcraft.
That sounds cool. Now, I don't care much for Assassin's Creed, but witches are cool, and I like the idea, even just the idea of combining Assassin's Creed with witchcraft and druid stuff and things like that. That I'm down to see that. I would play that. That looks cool.
Now, the rumor is, because when you obviously think of witches and the trials, you think of the Salem witch trials. No, although I wish that was the setting. It's going to be in Germany. Basically, there's a European witch hunt. We thought us Americans invented the witch hunt. We took from you guys again.
Then wouldn't it? It would kind of make sense if like it was a female protagonist, then wouldn't it? Like because women were all they're the people being burned for being witches, so it kind of be yeah.
And it's really messed up because it was just like a lazy excuse just to get rid of a woman. Like it wasn't even like a strong thing. She just could have been like, "Achoo!" And it's like, "Ooh, that sounds like a witch." Burn her.
Yeah, that time was we could talk about that for a while, how messed up and how nonsensical that period was, but yeah, might make for a good game.
But having the Assassin's Creed symbol, at first it was like a noose at a bone noose. Ooh, that's a good. That sounds like a game either you would play, Daniel, or that would be the next band DLC in Hellsinger.
You're muted, Dan, by the way.
I thought you did that intentionally.
No, I didn't. I was saying how Bone Noose is a great name for a metal band.
I'm like, is your stomach growling too? Because side note, I think I might order some barbecue. It's first football Sunday. I'm home alone. I'm feeling it. But I'm gonna
Big plans.
Oh, big plans. Just me and my belly.
Yeah, you're in the pole of a risky business.
Yeah. Except I'm not that comfortable strutting around my underwear. It's more of like me behind the covers, just like thinking about my life. I don't know how that segued. I was so excited about the witch. I'm like, yeah, witch hunt trials. And now I'm like, what the hell am I doing with myself, man?
I love how dark it always goes.
Always go to dark. Sorry
That's
to
why I
bum
like
you
the
out,
mark.
Jessica. If you're on the podcast, you would have brightened up my day. Aww. Aww.
Aww. That help?
Come on, show Jessica some love.
My really deep voice.
That's a witch
Noah,
rose.
you're kind of like our Patrick Warburner. Is that
Pat
the guy's
Warburton?
name?
You mean Patrick
Yeah,
Warburton?
like Joe Swanson or Putty from
he's in
Seinfeld.
Tack. He voices Locke in
Yeah.
Tack.
Who's the live action Tack?
There was no live action. It was an animated show.
Wait, are you talking about the Tick?
No, Tack. Locke is in Tack.
Oh, I thought you said the Tick.
Yeah.
So yeah, witch hunts.
Which
I'm so excited, and I do like the decision from Ubisoft, and I know I'm just rambling on, of like, hey, even though I loved it, guys, we're gonna take away those RPG elements. We're gonna have a character. You're not gonna customize this character, not even its gender. And I'm like, okay, fine. And it's a smart decision by using a character from Valhalla, which I asked. Like, we get to discover his journey from street thief to master assassin. So they already teased that story. And anyone watch Sonic the Hedgehog movies?
I watched the first one. It wasn't bad.
I don't know the actor's name, but the actor who played Jim Carrey's assistant will be voicing the main character, which, good on him. So, if you had to pick, what would you rather play? Red, the Japan game, or Hexe, the Witch Hunter game? Or Witch Hunts, I guess. Go.
Hexe. Not a question.
What about you, Noah, if you had to pick?
I kind of want to pick me reggae.
I gave you two options, and you're like, well, the third option. It's like, no.
I'll pick Hexe.
Daniel, what would you pick?
Yeah, probably Hex. I mean, I'm curious to see Red because, as you said, it's what we've been clamoring for years at this point. But Hex seems like it may be something different. Whereas you want to play Japanese Assassin's Creed, go and play Ghost of Tsushima. It's probably a better game. We've already kind of experienced that, and I'd like to see them doing something new and different, and doing something kind of borderline supernatural, which Assassin's Creed's always kind of like flirted with that idea, but never really committed. So, yeah, it sounds interesting.
I will probably say if you don't have a PlayStation, then if you have an Xbox, then play Red. But if you do have a PlayStation, what?
Good point. I forgot. That's a PlayStation exclusive, Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah.
When you said one, I'm like, yeah, Xbox One counts.
Yeah.
Like that's also the Xbox. That's what I meant. But that if you have PlayStation Plus, if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, play it. Do it.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing you. I'll just be very disappointed if you don't do it. And then the other thing that I'm this is what I was researching it. And then I was like, oh, this makes sense. When they're like, Assassin's Creed game is coming to Netflix Gaming. And I'm like, what? The mobile Netflix thing is getting a Valhalla game? And then I was like, it's a mobile game. I'm like, that makes a lot more sense. But we're also getting an open world Assassin's Creed mobile game. Which, Jade, that's the code name. I don't know I don't know how to feel about it. So you get to make your own protagonist. You will be in China. You can do parkour stuff on the Great Wall, which is dope. You can't do it in real life. Not because any legal reasons. I'm just not athletic. But I don't know. What's your take on that?
And I feel like we've done it a few times already, this podcast, where we hear mobile game and we're just like, whatever. Mobile games really they're not that, don't carry the same level of hype. I've never been a mobile. Well, I play Pokemon Go, but even outside of that, mobile games, they've never been that interesting to me. I don't know. They're not really something people talk about. They're not that hyped as big console or PC releases, in my opinion. So yeah, mobile game announcements, kind of okay, what else? What else? Anything cool or but that's just me.
Exactly. Noah, are you going to download it on your iPhone?
I'm not a big mobile guy, but when I hear Assassin's Creed mobile game and open world, the question that pops into my mind is, do I want my phone to melt? That's what I'm thinking here.
Yes or no.
Yeah, I'm going to go with no.
Okay. Fair enough. But Daniel, you love this news, right? You're very happy.
Did not look at.
No,
is
I
that
don't know.
the?
I feel like, are you a mobile what is it to be a mobile gamer?
I don't know what it is because I'm not one.
That's why you were not excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait and see. I mean, if people are raving about it, then I might try it, but it's not something that I'm excited about. No thanks.
I think, you guys, that was a podcast. Just period. I don't have any adjectives to add to that. That was a podcast. Whatever you make of it, I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since we had a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
A lot to cover.
A lot to cover. A lot of, but yet again, you can trim down 20 minutes of all food talk and.
That was the best part.
It was. Unfortunately, not we, but it's man, I really want to go off tangents and off topic. which makes me the worst host. But guess what? I gotta get us back on topic by saying, Owen, what articles do you have up on KeenGamer? It doesn't matter if they're coming up or old.
I thought you were going to say, doesn't matter if they're good. No, they're all few.
Any
so, yeah,
non-Final Fantasy IX articles, please.
I don't have
No,
any.
I'm just kidding.
I think about funny enough, I plugged Final Fantasy 9 on it. I wrote one recently, top 10 JRPGs. That was fun. It's not out yet as well, but I'm working on one at the moment. Is best games to play when you're going back to school to help you with the back to school blues that I'm actually quite happy with. So keep an eye out for that one, and the JRPG one. I put a lot of time and effort into that one, so check that one out.
So, not to spoil your back to school article, are these school games or just games in general?
It's games in general. So I was thinking just like any game that lets you like escape, that allows for immersion or escapism. I do put some school games in there. Like I put Bully in there, Classic. I put Final Fantasy 8 because there's a good bit of school element to that as well. Like I put in a few school games, but like, it's just good games that help you escape reality. Is the theme.
Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm just plugging my own article. That review should be up by the time you're listening to it. It probably will be. Noah, where can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find my YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, type in the Black Rose with spaces, and there's a lovely burning rose for my branding. Click on that. If you can't find it, add the word Bethesda. And I did recently set up more social accounts. You can get to them all through the channel. But my Twitter is at the Black Rose 314. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and my Discord server is up and running. I'm not going to recite my invite link, but you can get to it through my YouTube channel.
You guys can find it. You got to put in the work, but the work is, well worth it.
Indeed. Spent a whole lot of time on that server. It's really hard making a Discord. You ever done that?
No. Because
Yeah,
it's so much work.
I've been a part of Discords I've ignored, if that counts.
Oh, big time.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. That's a lot of work, yeah.
Daniel, where can people find you?
You can find, I mentioned earlier my Scathe review. That's my most recent review. If you want to go and read that. You can also keep an eye out on the site and on my Twitter at danboy95. I will be writing the review for Metal Hellsinger tomorrow, Tuesday, and it'll be going up later this week. The game's out Friday. And you can also find me on the Pop Shock podcast, which is available on YouTube and Spotify and anywhere you can get a podcast. And we talk about pop culture nonsense, including video games, movies, geeky stuff. We'll be doing an episode immediately after this where we will also be discussing the D23 stuff. We'll probably go more into detail about the Marvel trailers and stuff. And yeah, that'll be fun. So tune into that.
Sweet. This has been the KeenGamer podcast, and we hope you guys have a nice day.